Hey Redheads and everyone else listening, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Adrian. Today's episode's so cool. It's all about laser hair removal and if redheads can get it or they can't. And we're going to talk to expert in the field of laser, Dr. J. Kulkin. He is nationally recognized in cosmetic laser and he has over 30 years of experience.
Yeah, we're really excited because I think it's a topic that we get asked a lot from our redhead audience, especially during the summertime, because redheads want to know, can I get laser? And Adrian and myself have never had laser. But it's something I would get done.
I would totally get it done. It's just that every time I've ever called and talked about it or asked about it, they say, oh, redheads can't get it, sorry.
Right.
Because usually our hair is very blonde and very light and the laser can't pick up on the follicle, which is why you can't get laser. But Stephanie and I, because we're in the beauty industry and we're always like seeing new products come out.
New technology.
My gosh, like there are so many products and things on the market that I find it hard to believe that sometimes they don't have a laser yet to target redheads or blondes.
That's why I'm interested to talk to Dr. Kulkin, because there has to be some form of a technology now that can really get into that pigment of a hair if it is lighter. So if your hair is blonde, white, gray, we'll really talk to him and get his advice on what he recommends. Of course, I'm assuming, pick a place that's near you, that's reputable, that you trust, and always go in for a consultation, which I'm sure he will recommend too, because they're going to have to find out and figure out where you want to get the laser, what the hair color looks like, and go from there.
So, Steph, I have to ask too, do you feel like you would have got it? Where would you have got laser if you've already had the opportunity?
I would do my underarms and my bikini area because I get a wax.
Okay.
Yeah,
did you do your face? I know you're always
well, I think
freaking out.
So that's the question I want to ask him, because is that electrolysis or do you get it also on your face? I think you can get it on your face.
I think you can.
I would get it on my face. I have a lot of facial hair. But the thing that's interesting, and I'm sure if you're listening, maybe you're like me, but my armpit area is dark. It's like a dark brown.
Yeah, me too.
And then my bikini area is red.
Yeah.
And then my facial hair
is blonde.
But
it's like you always say it's like peach fuzz.
So I'm interested though if the hair color matters with what type of laser and whether you can get it or not. My arms, I love the hair on my arms. I know growing up some people would shave them, but mine's blonde.
Yeah, and I don't have a lot of arm hair.
No, and I wouldn't do my legs. I mean, I hate shaving, but I'm fine shaving twice a week.
Yeah.
I go more. I go over a week if it's in the winter time. I feel like, yes, I would get it. I would love to get it on my face because I have some whiskers coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's just I take after mom. You don't have any facial hair.
I don't have any facial hair, and I don't really feel like I'm super hairy, except I feel like I have a lot of hair on my head that gives me
Don't you
headaches.
hate shaving your armpits though?
Hate it. I hate it. And it's
it takes 20 seconds.
And I think maybe we should do a disclaimer that this episode may be TMA for some too much information.
TMI.
Or TMI. TMI for too much.
TMA is too much.
Attitude. Too much information, TMI, for a lot of people. But it's, it's like what our mom always said, you're a girl. We're girls. We're all girls here.
Yeah.
So even if you aren't a girl and you're listening or you want to talk about hair, it's something that everyone has. Everyone has hair in all the areas that we're talking about.
And I think, too, I hate even to talk about this, but I don't like talking about the bikini area and the whole thing with do the carpets match the drapes. We've always disliked that.
I've never even recognized it.
I don't like it at all. But when it comes to laser, I think that's something because I get a Brazilian and it would be really nice. I know that we have a few friends, but it would be really nice who have done this. But to be able to get laser down there so then you never have to worry about it anymore.
Especially if you have dark hair. I mean, it must
be. If you have dark hair and
you
you go to the beach and maybe you're wearing a bikini and you forget to shave. I mean, if you're listening and you've been there, I mean, you have these little hairs and then you have to lay on the beach or in front of everyone. I think laser is a great option for a lot of people. I just think we hear it nonstop. I think we just received a question the other day on Facebook about what are my options? I want to get laser. What do you recommend? And that's again why we're going to have Dr. J. Kulkin on, and we're really excited. He's a member of the American Society for Laser and Medicine and Surgery, and he's the founder and medical director of WIFH in Atlanta. And he started his initial laser training in the late 1980s that then led to his expertise in cosmetic lasers. And he's one of the leading experts in the field, and he's led laser workshops to teach his techniques across the United States and Canada, and frequently serves as an expert on this topic. So I think finding someone, like him who's so reputable, he's, going to be the go-to guy. So we're really excited to talk to him.
Yeah, let's call him.
Hello.
Hi, this is Stephanie and Adrian Vendetti from How to Be a Redhead.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. Hi, Dr. Kulkin. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Happy to do it.
Great. Well, first we wanted to say we both went to University of Miami. We saw you did too for medical school.
Sorry to hear that, but no, I went to med school, yeah.
Yeah, we went undergrad, but
Oh, I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll jump right in because we're really excited about today. And we first wanted to know the big question. Can redheads get laser hair removal?
Of course they can. But
wow.
Not every redhead.
Okay.
Okay. So, redheads, when we do laser hair removal, we're targeting the pigment melanin. It's the pigment in the hair. Now, redheads have varying amounts of melanin, like everybody. But some redheads have no regular melanin, and they have a melanin called melanin, sorry. Now, that, this is because of a chromosome issue that redheads have. They have a change on the number 16 chromosome. So, when they come for laser hair removal, we have to figure out, do they have enough regular melanin that we can make a difference with the laser, or will it be a waste of money? Now, I've been doing this for 17 years. We've done over 1 million procedures.
Wow.
We never do test pulses except on redheads. Because if I do a few test pulses on a redhead, I can see how her hair responds to the laser. And we have enough experience to know that if we see good response, her chance of getting a substantial reduction is good. But if the hair just sits there and laughs at us, then it would be a waste of money, and we're not going to proceed. So they're in an interesting situation.
Wow.
Yeah. So, okay. So if someone has...
Talk about you.
Yeah. Okay. So me speaking.
Stephanie has always really wanted laser hair removal.
Yeah.
So this is like music to her ears, I'm sure.
Yeah. So if my underarm hair is like a dark brownish, not dark brown, but more of like, it's darker. And then my bikini area is red and my facial hair though is blonde. What areas could I get laser?
So what we would encourage you to do, if the areas that you wanted treated were your bikini and underarms, we would encourage you to come in one day. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that you are not tan when you come in.
No, yeah.
Your skin is very light because that's really important.
Okay.
And we would do a few test pulses. And, if we see good response to the laser, then we would counsel you that maybe your reduction wouldn't be as great as we want, but maybe it would make your life a little bit easier. Now, for your face where it's blonde, save your money. It's not going to work. Okay? So, and we know that redheads have a fair amount of light brown and blonde. in hair on varying parts of their body. So it's a very individual area situation that we assess on every person.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
So the best bet for someone listening is to probably call a reputable place wherever they live. If in Atlanta, then call you guys and go in for a consultation to get that test to see.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Now, in Georgia, you're required to have a license to use a laser. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of the people who have licenses do not have a lot of experience. And so it's really important not only to find someone who's licensed, but to find someone with extensive experience using the Alexandrite laser. And the Alexandrite laser is the strongest laser used on light skin.
Oh, okay. So there's a certain kind of laser. So how many redheads do you feel like you've successfully
lasered?
Lasered, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I would have to guess a couple of hundred, but I would, and remember, we've done 1 million procedures. When we see a redhead who does not do well to test pulses, we don't want her to buy our services. But I tell you, I think we've been able to please over 90% of the redheads that we suggested pursuing would be reasonable. And that's as long as their expectations are reasonable.
Okay. So then this is again Stephanie speaking, if I was to get laser, successfully, you told me, okay, yes, I could get it on my underarm area. How many would I need? Is there a certain standard number, like 8, for instance?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We do a series of 8. We do a series of 8 sessions. We space the sessions 6 weeks apart, and we do that for everyone. And we will find 5 people a year who don't respond to the laser, and they won't be redheads. They'll have black hair, brown hair. So it's very interesting. But, we try to be as forthright as we can with everyone so that we, satisfy our patient.
Okay. And then would I need to ever shave my armpits again after the 8? How does that work?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. Now, look, a lot of places will tell patients you'll never shave again. 100% of your hair will be gone. And that's just simply not accurate.
Wow.
If we can get an 80 or 70% reduction, sometimes 90, then the expectation is to take out a razor once a week to whisk away some slow-growing fine hairs. That is my gold standard for laser hair removal.
Okay, that's great to know. And then we read on your website that the most common complication from laser hair removal is actually hyperpigmentation, which Adrian and myself did not know. And hyperpigmentation, it's the temporary darkening of the skin. And this can occur in light-skinned patients who have extended sun exposure, resulting in tanning of the skin. So can you explain this further? Why?
So it's basically like freckles?
Yeah, I guess. Right?
Well, hyperpigmentation, first of all, it happens, it would not be common in redheads.
Oh, okay.
Redheads are usually very fair complected. Redheads, when they go in the sun, they usually burn pretty easily.
Yeah.
Do you tan when you go in the sun?
No.
Yeah, we burn,
Most redheads have what we call skin type 1. They burn easily. They look at the sun, they burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we want those patients to come in always being as light as they can because we're going to use high settings in the Alexandrite laser. The Alex laser is extremely attracted to color, to pigment. And when you're tan, we get an overabsorption of energy, and that can cause hyperpigmentation, which are usually dime-sized crusted areas. We hate hyperpigmentation here, but it happens. And it goes away, usually in a few weeks, but bad hyperpig can take up to a year and a half to go away.
Interesting.
So but it's, that's very uncommon.
Okay.
So in our skin type 1 patients, hyperpig is really almost unheard of.
That's good to know. I mean, for redheads listening, yeah.
Almost unheard of. Yeah. And another good thing for redheads is redheads usually don't get gray as they get older. So their red just changes, it fades to a different color on the spectrum. But less gray hair later on.
Yeah, you really know your redhead facts. This is very impressive.
I mean, he's the expert.
I know.
What so how about someone, could you do gray hair?
No. Again, no pigment to absorb heat from the laser. So gray hair, white hair, save your money.
Wow. And do you see this, you being in the field, do you see that maybe the lasers are advancing over time? So maybe, let's say, 10 plus, 20 plus years down the road, that redheads who have blonde hair or gray or white will be able to get laser?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm not really seeing significant advances in that regard. Everybody's tried many different things, but we've not seen anything that works differently than 15 years ago.
So I actually have one of our last questions is, redheads seem to experience pain more than most, and we have a whole other podcast about that, but sure. We wanted to know if laser is painful.
Well, it's a relative question. 75% of our patients do not use numbing cream on the bikini and underarms. 25% do. Some people, when they have it done, they're like, that's not so bad. Other people are like, oh my God, that's horrible. So it's a very individual thing. There are topical numbing creams that we prescribe, and they work beautifully for laser hair removal. So I think in the case of a redhead, I would encourage her to come, have test pulses, see what that feels like, and if there's a decision to proceed, if they desire, we can prescribe numbing cream for them.
Okay, that's really great to know.
That's really
I have hope now that I can get it on my underarms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well,
we can usually tell easily.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kulkin, for all of your amazing advice and for being a guest on our podcast.
Well, you're very welcome. And if we can help with anything, always just feel free to let us know.
Oh, great. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have hope.
I really liked him a lot. He's so nice and just so personable and like really educated. You can tell that he really knows his stuff.
I know. And the only thing I'm a little not upset about, because I knew, is my blonde on my facial hair. But this is going to be for a whole different podcast about ways that I combat the blonde hair on my face. But right now, I really, once a week, I religiously use this gadget we got in the mail, I don't know, months ago.
Really?
That takes off all of my peach fuzz.
It looks really good.
Oh, thanks.
It looks really good. Like, I can't even tell that you have peach fuzz.
Yeah, and Katie Deno, she was a guest on season one of our first episodes.
Love her.
She's a green
the
beauty.
episode was about green beauty.
Yeah, she's a green beauty makeup artist. And she actually recently did an Instagram story or a YouTube video about this gadget that she uses off Amazon that basically takes off her facial hair. So anyway, we'll save that for another episode. But definitely, if you're in the Atlanta area, check WIFH out.
We'll put them in the podcast notes too, so you guys in Atlanta can just click and book an appointment.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. They're on Peachtree Dunwoody Road. I'm not familiar with where that is. Oh, near Sandy Springs. But definitely, yeah, check it out in the notes section, because we'll definitely want to bring you guys. I mean, it's a reputable place, especially if you're in the Atlanta area. And we're really